Hello, my inquisitive viewers. Today, we're stepping back in time to explore a pivotal event, the French Revolution. This wasn't just some French affair, its shockwaves reverberated across Europe, leaving an indelible mark on the course of history. Imagine a world on the cusp of change. A world where old orders were about to be challenged and overthrown. That's what we're delving into today. Fasten your intellectual seatbelts as we journey back to the late 18th century, to a France brimming with unrest and on the brink of a momentous upheaval. Why did it happen? What were its key moments, and who were the key players in this grand drama? And how did it transform France and indeed the whole European continent? Let's find out. Our journey takes us to the heart of this revolution, exploring its causes, its key events, and, of course, the colourful characters who shaped it. From the storming of the Bastille to the reign of terror and the rise of Napoleon, we'll unravel the complexities of this era. Hold on tight. Picture this, France in the late 1700s, a land of striking contrasts. On one hand, you had the extravagant lifestyles of the aristocracy and the clergy, living off the fat of the land. On the other, you had the vast majority of the population, the peasants and the emerging working class, struggling to survive. France was drowning in debt, thanks in part to extravagant spending by the monarchy and costly wars. Add to this a series of bad harvests, and you have a recipe for disaster. The common people were burdened with heavy taxes, while the privileged few enjoyed exemptions. It was a system ripe for rebellion.
The ideas of the Enlightenment, emphasizing reason and individual rights, had taken root in France. Thinkers like Voltaire and Rousseau challenged the absolute authority of the monarchy and the church, fueling the flames of discontent. The French people, inspired by the American Revolution across the Atlantic, yearned for liberty, equality, and a say in their own governance.
The year is 1789. Tension hangs thick in the air. The Estates General, a largely symbolic assembly representing the three estates of French society, is summoned by King Louis XVI in a desperate attempt to address the financial crisis. But the commoners, representing the overwhelming majority, are tired of being ignored. They demand real political power, not just token representation. When their demands are met with resistance, they break away and form the National Assembly, vowing to create a new constitution for France. This act of defiance marks the beginning of the French Revolution.
On July 14, 1789, the revolution takes a decisive turn. Parisians, fueled by rumors and fearing repression, storm the Bastille, a symbol of royal authority and a hated prison. The capture of the Bastille, although lightly defended and holding only a handful of prisoners, becomes a potent symbol of the revolution itself.
Section 4. A time of terror and triumph. Robespierre's reign. The French Revolution was a roller coaster of highs and lows, of triumphs and tragedies. The abolition of feudalism and the declaration of the rights of man and of the citizen were landmark achievements. However, the revolution also took a dark turn with the Reign of Terror. Led by Maximilien Robespierre, the Committee of Public Safety, tasked with protecting the revolution from internal enemies, unleashed a wave of executions. Thousands deemed enemies of the revolution, including many innocent people, were sent to the guillotine.
This period of paranoia and bloodshed, while brutal, was also a time of intense patriotism and social change. The revolution abolished slavery in French colonies, introduced a new calendar and system of weights and measures, and implemented radical educational reforms. The revolution, despite its excesses, was forging a new France.
Section 5. Enter Napoleon, from general to emperor. From the chaos of the revolution emerged a figure who would shape France and Europe for years to come, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant military strategist, Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French army, securing impressive victories against France's enemies and becoming a national hero. In 1799, Napoleon seized power in a coup d'etat, establishing himself as first consul and effectively ending the French Revolution.
Napoleon consolidated power, enacted lasting reforms in law and administration, and embarked on a series of military conquests that expanded French influence across Europe. Napoleon's ambition ultimately proved his downfall. His empire, built on military might, crumbled under the weight of constant warfare and economic blockade. Defeated in 1815, Napoleon was exiled, but his legend lived on.
Section 6. Reshaping France, the Revolution's legacy at home. The French Revolution, despite its tumultuous nature, left an undeniable legacy on France. It irrevocably overthrew the absolute monarchy, replacing it with a republic based on principles of popular sovereignty and individual rights. The revolution's ideals of liberté, égalité, fraternité, liberty, equality, fraternity, became deeply ingrained in French national consciousness. Feudalism was abolished, paving the way for a more equitable society.
The power of the church was significantly curtailed, and education and legal reforms were implemented. The revolution, though imperfect, had laid the groundwork for a more modern and democratic France. The revolution's impact on the French psyche was profound. It instilled a sense of national identity, a belief in the power of the people, and a commitment to republican ideals. These values would continue to shape France's political and social landscape for generations to come.